pronounce Issa's name like that. Your host like that, because it sounds so like fucking formal. Okay, wait, hello? Be like, welcome to the What We Don't Know podcast with your hosts, Olly Issa and Issa Sabah.
Figure out, like...
Could you hear it change?
Yeah, 2 + 2 = 4, numbers matter. Welcome to the podcast featuring your life ruined. So, what's your favorite color?
You always start with what's your favorite color?
It's the best icebreaker.
Should we explain what it's about first?
Life? Or the podcast?
Yeah.
I
Explain life first, and then we'll start the podcast.
Life's
might take a while.
Life's easy. It's 42.
Isn't there like weird numbers that people have that they're like
I
match
think,
up to a million things?
Yeah.
This number is the answer.
Numerology, right? That's what it's called.
Okay, this is a good way to start actually. So we can explain the show is called
What We Don't Know.
So this was a good start where we talk about everything we don't know.
And
what did you call it?
Numerology.
Numerology. Let's start with numerology.
Well,
what do you know?
what do I know about numerology? The Pythagoreans? Pythagoras Theorem.
Is that a type? Oh, I thought that was
What's
a type
his
of people.
There was that Greek mathematician Pythagoras, right? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's a Greek mathematician, Greek philosopher, Greek know-it-all, basically. You know how
I'm gonna check this.
Ancient Greek know-it-alls. And so, anyways, he did like.
So what is Pythagoras?
It's a guy.
It's something.
It's a man thing, Greek man thing. How? Well, okay, this is a hard thing. I know he's ancient Egyptian.
We'll start
like
with this.
We'll
old, check your.
How old was this ancient Egyptian? That I don't know. I'm thinking 1,200 BC? No, that's wrong. 450 BC is what I'm guessing.
Greek philosopher, you're right on that one.
Yeah, it's a Greek philosopher, mathematician, everything. Anyways, what's cool about his school, and of course he had school.
So how crazy is this?
They worshipped numbers. They really believed.
So like normal school.
No, but like
this math class, basically.
No, but I'm not metaphorically saying they worship numbers. They literally believe in like the all, the absolute, the one. You know.
Oh, okay. So what we were saying before, like this number include, like there's the movie 7. That's obviously a different take on it.
No, like
to some extent, the movie 7 in ancient Greece.
I get what you're saying, but no, the reason I laughed it's fine. I've never seen the film, so
me neither. I saw the trailer.
To be fair, that's even worse. I
saw the trailer. Bunch of sevens takes over the screen.
That is crazy. I was laughing because I thought you've watched the film and like made some what's the word? Conclusions about what it's about and 7 and like murder and stuff, and I'm like, that's what I thought it's about. But you're then like, I haven't even watched it.
No. I don't know where I've seen this. What I have in my mind is what's the artist called?
Brad Pitt.
No, the artist literally a painter I'm thinking of. Not Michelangelo. The guy that made a movie about Da Vinci. Yeah. Is it Da Vinci Code, the movie? Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that there's all these like hidden.
I don't remember.
You've never seen that?
I've read the books.
You never watched the movie?
Kind of watched the movie, but I probably was like 15 and then I thought I was better than everyone. So like I watched the movie, but I wasn't watching the
What's
movie.
changed since then?
Oh, not much.
Now you're 27, 28? And think you're better than everyone.
28. But it's fine. Apparently when you turn 29, then you realize you mean nothing and you're just like everyone else. And it's quite downhill from there.
Not long to go.
Yeah, a few
It's
months.
looking up. Do you remember Pythagoras Theorem?
Yes.
Go on.
Oh gosh. What is the sin equals cos plus tan? No. Oh my god. It's something like that.
It's actually not.
Wait, how does it go? Is it like?
It's the one with the triangle.
Yeah.
With the right angle. And you do a squared plus b squared is c squared.
A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Mm.
What? Wait,
Sorry, got an email.
is that the end of the world? Do you think that's gonna be like on the podcast now? Oh, it was an email in from one of our
Our first listener.
It's fine. I mean, people know we're famous. I mean, they're gonna expect that to happen, right? Like, but to be fair, it's interesting. You never see whenever like the Kardashians or like Barack Obama's on stage, they never get phone calls or messages. They never get interrupted. So it makes you wonder if like
they don't get phone calls. They're too famous for phone calls.
No.
But
I wonder if they edit it out and they're like, oh my god, you just
crazy?
ruined the shot. Gonna have to redo my Instagram.
Okay, here's one for you. Because I imagine they are too famous to take their own phone calls, right? Do you reckon Donald Trump has a personal line? This is Trump's number.
I think so.
Really?
I think so. And he would only give it out to like his
7 people.
His
it's like
mistress 1, mistress 2.
Head of security, CIA. 7 people have his number.
I
don't think they'll have their own lines.
I think besides lottery winners, no one ever drastically decides, I'm not having a phone anymore. I'm too big for this. I think it's one of these things.
Have you tried it?
These things gradually fade out. Yeah, I have. I can do it.
Have you done the
I can turn
it off for a few hours a day or not?
I've done it for months. I can plug up. Yeah. I don't know if I can do it nowadays. I don't legit.
When did you do it? How old were you?
25, 24.
I did something for a while where it was like I turned on from certain hours. I struggled, to be honest. I don't think I'm that addicted. I feel like I'm not that addicted to my phone.
Did you do that for work reasons or personal reasons?
Personal reasons, I think. But not work related at all. Like, it wasn't to test myself to see if I could do it, but it was. I think I remember at the time I thought that I was too obsessed with my phone. So I remember.
I remember you vaguely telling me about this. I feel like. Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. It was a couple of years ago.
I feel like I've done that before where I'm like, oh, I want to see.
But to be honest, you're pretty phone flaky anyway. You have like auto reject on and all this stuff.
I can't.
You need 4 calls to go through. So it's not that much of a jump, really. It's just the 5th time somebody calls you, it doesn't go through.
No, but that's what's interesting is like sometimes it's actually fun to see how addicted you are to something. It's like, oh, and it's like there are these friends or these people you can think about who are like definitely addicted to their phones. I don't think I'm one of them. I don't think you're one of them.
I know people who are really bad.
Yeah, but when you test it or when you tell these people, they're like, no, I'm not. I can quit.
Maybe I'm one of them then.
Exactly.
Maybe I'm naive.
Yeah. Wait, maybe I'm
What are you
maybe
addicted
I'm
to? Because I think I'm definitely not addicted to my phone or social media. I'm not constant. Like if I look at you can check your hours on your Instagram every day, how much you've been on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be.
How do you
too
check
bad.
that? Is it easy?
I can't remember. It's in the settings, and you see like how long was I on Instagram today.
I'm curious.
And most people I think are like me, and it's like 6 hours.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding.
6 hours?
No. I think it's like an hour.
Oh,
maybe.
It says your activity.
10 minutes.
Guess mine. Daily.
10.
My daily average.
14 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah, that's
which
good.
is pretty high, actually. I'm surprised.
That's more than you thought? That's not a lot.
The average
I think most people are a lot more.
But to be fair, it's skewed.
Why did Instagram do this?
Why did they? It's saying on Thursday and Fridays it's more. Much more, which is weird.
Because you're at work.
No, Fridays I'm not.
No, because you. Oh, Thursday and Friday. Do you get off work early on Thursday?
No.
Why did Instagram show you how long you've been on? Public service.
Yeah, I think they do that to act like they really care about screen.
That's too much of a small thing to make
it
seem like that.
You've heard of the term virtue signaling, right?
Yeah.
This is it.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think they've thought it through that. Imagine
why
they go into a meeting. We should put these small triggers in to make people think we give a shit. Maybe, actually. Maybe.
It's exactly that. Literally, someone said literally those words. Literally.
Do you think on a whole?
Because what would its function serve? I can't imagine. Like for us as a for them, for us to them.
For us to them, that's what I'm struggling with. I don't think there's much better.
I can't
imagine. Do you think on a whole, because now there's like, I mean, that's Facebook again, really, but there's like a few ultra mega platforms that have taken over, like Google, Facebook. Them too, really.
Apple's
as
like
well,
iTunes
kind of,
and
but more so.
Privacy.
It's really Google and Facebook, which can really access a lot of your information. Do you think they're trying to do things?
We assume that Apple's data is secure. There's no guarantee.
I mean,
and there was the leak,
well,
remember, recently.
Yeah.
So.
But it's not about. I'm not as fussed as much about hackers, which you probably should be.
With Apple.
With Apple or with whoever, or Facebook or anyone. Because if people want to, they can get into anyone's Facebook account. It's not
we've forgotten
rocket
about
science.
Microsoft.
I know I said it before.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Really?
We'll listen back.
I believe you. I just feel bad and weird I didn't remember.
Feel bad you left them out. But, okay, what I was going to say was, do you think... They probably have a dilemma with it, but do you think they have people's best intentions, or do you think it's more of a business?
It's a business. They're all
and you don't
businesses.
think they care?
No. I think...
Because they're in the business of information, right?
Yes, but some of them... Well... No,
what else do they have? What's Facebook
they're all
selling or giving people?
Advertising.
It's information. That's it. They're taking this person is old from this country.
At that point,
interested in this
it's
stuff.
semantics, though, right? Because advertising is where the money is. Because what does information matter if you can't target the ads? It's all about the ads. It really is, because we don't have, at least no one will publicly admit we have a black market for people's information to assassinate them or flirt with them or do weird things. There is a market for that, but it's definitely black market. It's not.
What do you think that's like?
Yeah, but no one's gonna publicly admit they're doing or requesting.
No, I don't think it's as much for that. I don't think. I think the weird side of
there are weird people.
The time that you get caught with it is, at the moment, it doesn't matter. I think down the line, it's going to really, really change a lot. But at the moment, it's more people getting weird messages or like extreme cases. Yeah, people can access a load of information really, really, really easily. Like imagine how long ago would it be? Let's say 20 years. There was people's privacy. Like think about it now. The problem we have is we think technology is slowing down. We're getting comfortable with the rate of growth of technology. So when phones came around, computers came around, we were playing PlayStation, the graphics got really good really fast, and we thought, oh, this is just like plateaued now. But it's still getting faster, quicker.
I agree
and we've got
you.
comfortable with how fast it's got. But it's not just as simple as like, oh, I get a really cool phone now. It's how like Facebook and companies like that. It's not only that, it's across the board. Things are getting really crazy.
I think we're forgetting that, for example, industry and enterprise usage of technology was always the first thing.
Yeah.
And
that's the funny thing. We've had brackets of what we focus technology on using. The first, it was assembly lines, really, that we were like, wow, this is groundbreaking. And it keeps changing. But now I think it's manipulation of things. And that's I think the next step of what it's going to be.
It's crazy because that's the thing. We're in the thick of it now. Like we're really immersed in it. Before they would, even the way software was created before was like, we have an idea, the client pitched for it, a software company is hired to make it, and then they're given 2 years to make it.
What kind of software are you thinking of?
For example, make
design programs
or make Microsoft Word. We give you the specs of what we want. We want the thing to do this more or less. And the company is hired 2 years. They make the thing. And then they have a few adjustments. That was called waterfall methodology or whatever. Mm-hmm. Basically, you work, hierarchy, get the work done, review, process. Now there's something called Agile. And with Agile, you're doing
I heard about this a while ago.
You're doing 2 weeks to 3 months. You have a working thing. Refine with the client, and straight away, basically over time, you're building this product that's exactly what the client
they're doing
needs.
This almost across the board with everything.
Everywhere.
So now it's getting as crazy.
I'm trying to integrate it into an events company at the moment.
So I heard about this probably. I mean, I heard this with.
They've been doing since
the site we were
late
doing
90s.
like, oh, okay. So I was gonna say like 5 years ago, something I heard.
It
about
became trending in the last 10 years.
But the thing is, they're using it with things across. Like Tesla uses it now. Like they'll put out a car, and even with automotive, they'll put a car out.
The software
refine it. They're having problems with the planes doing that now.
It's crazy.
Like they're literally doing software updates that don't work.
What do you know about the plane stuff recently? How many crashes?
To be honest, not a lot. Really, really.
There's been at least 3 crashes, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
With
I thought it was just one.
No, there's been 2 proper ones in like Singapore, Malaysia, or whatever, and 1 in Africa.
No way.
And people died.
That's crazy.
And like, and like it was an Airbus, right? Airbus?
I don't know.
Or Boeing?
I don't know.
737 Max. I don't know.
This is good. This is a good example.
Yeah,
I really don't know about this at
who
all.
makes a 777? Boeing A380, Airbus 777. I don't know.
Me neither.
But anyways, the 737 Max or whatever, the company that made it, as usual in these big corporations, owning the mistake is like a bad move. So they're like, whatever, we didn't do it.
How do you mean it's a bad? You would think that would be a good corporate look to
nowadays to own it and twist it as if we're trying to solve it and everything's good. But
so
I guess in this instance, when it involves
Trump's doing a good job then.
When it involves dead people, it's a bit hard to own.
Yeah, that's a different.
Oh yeah, we kind of did testing, but we ignored these things, so now you have 20 families dead. Oops, it's a bit.
I mean, is it more for legalities or?
It's only for legalities that these companies say these things. Only.
Yeah, I guess.
No class action
but
lawsuits.
maybe both. Maybe there's legalities that come into it and
image.
Really image.
Yeah,
for sure.
PR.
Because it's so. I think we're getting more into the like Apple, for example, want to look really progressive and forward thinking and stuff like that, and they can't.
But I feel like Apple hasn't had a real faux pas in trying to look right. Like for example, like remember the Pepsi ads?
Yeah.
With Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
That really missed the mark.
But do you think people are more sensitive now, right? It's not just because it's now that we're saying people are more sensitive. Like if people have a small slip up.
You really think people are a bit more. Yeah, I think
a lot more sensitive.
As a sensitive person, I'm telling you that. Yeah,
I'm insulted by this. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you think about it, if someone like me who is a bit more sensitive than most people, I think, really notices that there is a bit of PC culture going on at the moment, then it highlights how I think problematic it is, because I feel like people are ready to play the victim without engaging the actual problem that's being.
But you're not. I mean, you're not sensitive compared to some of the stuff you see.
But that's the thing.
Like some of the cases you see are like really, really extreme.
But that's my point. That there must be a fine line between true sensitivity and then just
playing it.
No, just not being aware.
I think there's okay. I'll rephrase then. I'll go back. It's not the fact. I think that people are actually more sensitive. I think that people are playing the role of being more sensitive, and I don't know where it started because. I remember there was a time, late 90s probably, where it was a thing, the whole suing thing was getting bigger. Like people would, and it was a joke about it. I don't know if you remembered. Like, do you remember there was a joke about, especially in the States?
I think it's mostly the States, right? The suing culture.
I remember like early 90s, mid 90s, it wasn't that bad. And then late 90s or 2000s maybe, it was a thing like running jokes with people. Or do this so you can get, you can sue. And it was ridiculous stuff. And it was always the joke, even now, where like, oh, this person sued because the Pepsi had ice or whatever the thing is. And that's, maybe that kickstarted it.
That's what's like really interesting about all of it, is because like I told you I wanted to talk about psychology today, right? Like at the loose level, I wanted to
the one thing you wanted to do.
I just wanted to do
everything
psychology.
No intro, psychology.
Just no reasons. I want to talk about psychology. Like I don't know what aspects, but this is a good aspect.
Sometimes you drag it in somehow.
Exactly. This is a good aspect to talk about psychology though, because it feels like the whole suing thing ties into like two major drives for people, at least most contemporary people, right? Whether they like to admit it or not, which is money making. You sue, you win, you make money. And if you don't, you got the other drive, which is a bit of recognition, fame, power. And I feel like they are so
get angry from it or something.
Yeah, I can be indignant this happened to me. Someone is going to pay
when people realize that was an option, it's the same thing with the lottery. Like the lottery at one point was a big thing that came around, and everyone's like,
what do you think about the lottery? You think it's a good thing, bad thing?
Well,
are you indifferent? False hope.
It's a bit of a weird thing because a lot of people look down on gambling, which I'm not a big gambler really.
I've never been either. I think
but it's like there's a lot of things like that which are, I guess, they're loopholes, right? Where it's, I mean, the lottery isn't, they openly know that it's gambling and you have to be over a certain age and stuff like that. I think it's known as a way to gamble.
So
but there's so many things which are like lotteries, like, oh, just put in this and then you may get this out of it.
I find it interesting that, like, that's funny that you consider it gambling. I've never thought of it as gambling because isn't it in the UK at the very least country sponsored thing? I think it's publicized. I think it's like a public.
But I don't think it's like government sponsored or anything.
That's what I mean by public. I think it is government sponsored. I think that's the way of like, because what happens is a lot of the money, I would assume, some of the money goes into social services, and then there's a pot. Because then it makes sense, right? Then it makes school because you
I don't think that's the case
statistically.
I don't think it's the case.
It's usually lower
maybe
income
it is.
brackets.
Let me check.
Now I'm curious. I mean, you would think that because I think I'm pretty sure some countries are government sponsored lotteries.
Yeah, it's strange actually because that's like literally a way to tax people like that openly want to go and gamble on it.
Yeah, but it's good. I mean, is that little like, and it's usually lower income and it's not that much it's like what, 5 dirhams a ticket or whatever.
Yeah. But that was always the thing, right? To like win the lottery. Everyone wants to win the lottery, like free money.
It would be awesome. I mean, I'd love to win the lottery. Wouldn't you? I mean,
it is as well. In America, it's the, Powerball and all, a lot of them are state-owned and...
State-owned, but so...
Oh, national lottery, yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but then what happens? Like, is there
Oh, it's I don't know. I guess complicated. Royal Mail own 20% of a group that I don't know. I guess complicated.
That is a bit weird.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, I guess, as well.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because it's
life-changing amount of money, and yet apparently, I don't know if this is even fact at this point because I've heard the story so much. Is that lottery winners within like a year or 5 come back to the same poverty levels as before?
But I can easily believe that.
I do believe it. It's just like
it makes sense almost. It almost makes sense.
It's not only one person. Apparently, often they do this.
I completely believe it because I don't know. It's like why would they? I don't know. It's hard to explain. Why would they not spend it?
I imagine just now, like if I was like this person, and then some guy, like a lawyer or a financial investor, came up to me saying, "I've got the best plan for you that's gonna sustain." I don't know. I'm doing it. It's gonna sustain this amount of money for you
taxes.
For whatever. Yeah. I would be skeptical. I'd be like, I don't know what you're on about. To me, it sounds like you want to steal my money.
But how many people want that? Okay. This is another weird way to think about it. It's hard to explain why I would assume that they would lose the money, but it's like it's putting money in on something you're taking a huge risk on. There's a small chance of actually winning. Why would people put money in probably consistently to actually win a huge like lotto big bonus or whatever? I think it'd be rare to be like, I'm going to buy one lottery ticket and win. People buy tickets every night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So those are probably people that win. They're like hoping that they're going to land this big jackpot.
Okay.
What are the chances that those people that are willing to like...
Are going to be money savvy.
Are going to be like risk going and putting money in every day to gamble on this huge amount and then be, really reserved on like, okay, now I have 486 billion pounds from one number.
I see that. That's a very interesting look at it, or interesting take on it. I get that. That's cool. Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
I think the number's pretty high. It's like 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 lottery winners will go broke or whatever. And I don't know. It's it gets weird with getting a huge amount of money, one without working for it, which, I mean, they haven't really worked for it, like that amount of money. Like if you translate the amount,
I would argue that it takes it takes a good amount of hope, it takes a good amount of courage to take a chunk of your money that day and
probably not a chunk, but
you know what I mean. It's like
no,
I mean I feel like most people nowadays put a big premium on what constitutes work. Does that make sense? No,
okay, what I meant was
I know you meant.
The work that they're probably currently doing, that amount of work to translate into that amount of money would be, 30 people's lifetimes or whatever.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
So it's a lot of work. They haven't worked their work for it. Like if I put my value on,
but that's the thing. That's exactly my point. We're saying that these crazy CEOs, their value of their minute of time is worth $40,000. I debate that. I'd really, really debate that, especially after meeting some CEOs.
Yeah,
no,
I know that's true.
You know
I completely believe that, obviously.
And it would be good. It would be I could receive the counter argument that CEOs make a small proportion of the population, but it's exactly on that point that I would argue, small portion of the population, but then how much of their money or their income constitutes the GDP or whatever, it's a high amount. I'm not saying kill the rich and feed the poor or whatever. I'm just saying
I'm saying there's extreme cases though.
But what do you
do? Because
that's a really big extreme case.
Let's say
because we could have cured poverty and all of that stuff. We could have done that a while now. But
what do you do? What do you do? Like for example, Apple. Let's go with like Apple, Facebook. They have the CEO of the company. You have
bonuses.
The majority of what they make would be on shares of the company, I would imagine. But like they would be on an incentive plan for sure at that level, I think. But they would make outrageous amounts of money, obviously,
just from the shares.
But the thing is, what do you do? What are they supposed to make?
Listen, the shares the dividends that they get on shares, I almost can say they deserve that money.
That would be an insane amount of money.
But at that point, it's deserved. My issue really is with the salaries, because if we attack the shareholders of companies and so on, then we're really attacking capitalism at large, which I'm so willing to do.
So you have both sides of the argument covered.
No, I'm willing to do that, but I'm saying if we do that, that's a proper systemic attack, and it needs much more thought. But an easy approach is to really say there is a really unfair skew of salaries. CEO,
unfair. You're saying that's unfair?
Yeah. Why should the CEO make millions a year and so on and so forth? It's a bit...
The thing is, okay, I have 2 points about it. One...
And CEOs are rarely CEOs of one company as well.
Really? Really? Well, they'd be CEO of a group and then manage.
No. I mean, not always.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Really?
A CEO is rarely, in my opinion, from what I know, is rarely a CEO of just one company.
I've never heard.
There'll be a CEO of one company, maybe a CFO of another, and a board of directors of another.
I think just here.
And then this is multiple, like...
I don't think worldwide. I think like big CEOs, like of big multinational, huge companies. Yes. There's no way.
Yeah, but that's like Jeff Bezos and Tim Cook and like these are the ones that like are at the extreme end.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this now. What do you do? One, I have 2 points. Podcast shut down. It's not even live and we're shut down somehow. We stopped recording. The first point, the salaries obviously are progressive, right?
You mean like an internal scale?
Yeah. So you have like a designer who's on a certain amount. His manager would be on so much. They're 1,000 people, 10,000 people, or whatever, up the chain, or literally on the organization chart. They're at the top of a pyramid that is insanely high.
You would assume if there's a hierarchy like that, it would be at max 100 scales or something, not 1,000.
Oh, a lot. A hell of a lot.
Yeah.
For sure. Imagine the size of what Apple is.
I can't. I actually...
Facebook. Or
I can't.
Think about
it would be interesting to see the organizational charts of these companies.
It's probably...
I'm sure it's online somewhere.
So imagine the people like who are least well paid at a company like Facebook, let's say, or Apple. Their gap from them, how many people it passes through to get to the CEOs, is so many people, and the salaries would get progressive. It is insane, obviously.
What's insane is like it's an aside, or it's like a parallel to the discussion we're having. Is I read this thing where people in New York recently got hold of the numbers they paid entry-level position people in Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or something. And
I like you say, it sounds very like Gotham City. The people of New York got all of the figures.
Yeah, because in New York, generally speaking, these like newspapers or whatever, these weekly zines and stuff, the people who write are very clever and like very well read, and their opinion pieces are like right to the core. They're like, it's bullshit. An entry level employee at Goldman Sachs is making this much, and I'm like reading it. I'm like, okay, it's interesting. It's moderately high for starting position, really, fresh graduate, and this is what
what kind of figures are they?
I think it was like 15,000 dirhams equivalent at the beginning position.
Oh,
which is good. This is like a teller.
Oh no, I thought. Okay,
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something outrageous.
No, it's good. My point is it's good, but that's the beginning lowest position. But what was shocking for me is they were so ready to go to the jugular. Yeah, for these like young people positions, more or less. When really we should be aiming high. I feel like
should be the opposite.
I feel like I understand why, because it's hard to bring someone that high down.
I think there's an even weirder point to it.
Go on.
It's easy now to,
especially with freedom of speech in their country, they should mind it.
Not even that. Like, it's easy to antagonize people, especially from like press like that. They can easily be like, oh, look at these people, and they'll get so many article reads.
But that's what's interesting in New York, from what I've noticed there, at least in New York. PC culture, it's starting to become a thing, but when I lived there, it wasn't that.
Not as much that. Like, everyone's the same
The
almost.
big corporations could ignore it. They would just be like, no comment. And you feel like that's what's happening nowadays. When you hear a news report and they'll be like, we reach, or like one of those YouTube 3-minute clips by Vox. They're like, IKEA used the slave labor. For example, IKEA doesn't. I like IKEA. I don't think they do. Do they? Anyways, and then they'll be like, we reached.
There's not much labor in IKEA. Is that the one you've heard? IKEA is a lot of slave labor, but it's people who buy the furniture and then
oh my god,
to assemble it.
Fair enough. That's why, like, it's
definitely slave labor.
I've always liked the element of like, you do everything yourself. It's like these people in yellow and people in blue who don't actually help you out in the shop.
It's kind of a kick in the balls. Like, pay for this and assemble it. But it's so good. I wish I could do that with different businesses.
Cheap though,
really cheap,
relatively cheap.
Yeah,
and good quality. I mean, for what it is.
The business model is actually pretty good, because if you imagine the money. Like, how much cheaper it is.
Their call center must be so hectic.
Yeah. From people. Drunk housewives. Like,
I've been working on this whole day. I want my money back.
4 bottles of wine later. Screaming down the phone at IKEA. Yeah, but the amount that they would save on storage, actually assembling them and putting them on each item on display. Imagine old furniture stores where this is an item of what you can buy, and you have to like literally get a mover to come and pick it up. IKEA changed the game.
They changed the game,
package it,
and they hire designers who think first and foremost about how you would package it. That's crazy. Yeah. I would assume.
Yeah.
The designers would think.
And it's an interesting direction. They would, for sure. Like, you have,
and they've always been.
But it might be even crazier than that. It might be even crazier that they're like, oh, this is the box size. The parts have to fit into 4x7 or whatever.
I have a cool thing for you regarding IKEA. They rebranded recently. And literally, it's 1%.
Didn't do anything.
2% change.
Yeah.
They moved the trademark sign inside or something. They're like, we just wanted to look better in mobile. And I'm like, proud of you guys.
I'm going to check it out.
I'm proud of them because that's good. Everyone else is rebranding to a sans serif and blocky sans serif letters. And we're just modernizing it. I'm like,
doesn't last though.
You're just playing it safe.
Oh yeah, no, like you are actually correct. So the old, I don't know if it's the new. Oh, so the new one I guess is that the is it registered? The R logos that's now inside of the orange. But the thing is, with companies like this, and this is legit, I think, I've heard so many stories about market research companies or like creative market research companies that go out and if they're looking to rebrand will go out and do market research and spend, the companies will spend
millions.
crazy amounts of money.
Millions, yeah.
And a lot of the time they don't rebrand. They don't change the brand. Yeah, a lot of the time.
Because they're saying you would probably...
FedEx did it, I think.
You would lose patience. You would lose customer loyalty or customer
I guess, yeah.
trust.
I don't know, in some way, the market research companies come back and say your value of this is
much
already,
more high. Yeah,
already as good as it can be. Whatever.
That's good.
Apparently, FedEx did it twice or something.
I would imagine you paid someone trusted to confirm you're handsome. I'd pay for that.
I think that's just you. I think I have a new business idea. I think
that's the company's.
Call me. Just call people handsome for a good amount of money.
I mean, I'm sure. I wonder, would you be surprised to find out that on Reddit you have something called like roast me or rate my looks?
I've heard of it,
and people send in the thing, and people really rip into them.
That's exactly the opposite. What is? You know what that is? I think for me, I'll explain what I think that is.
How's that opposite to my service? My service is awesome.
People
it's
go
confirmed.
and rip into people. Yours is that you want like affirmation, positive affirmation.
No, but it has to be truthful.
But you don't want people to say, "Hey, by the way, I know you paid me to call you handsome.
No, but
you're damn ugly." Like, there's no fixing this. Give me my money.
Well, maybe the second part I wouldn't pay for. But
so like, what do you want? You can't have both. You pay someone to call you handsome. That's it. Done. Deal's done. You're handsome. Money over. Transaction complete.
The other option was like,
I can't accept your money. You're ugly.
On a scale of 10, you're a 2. But if you do these things, we can go up to a 6. That's worth paying for.
That's a stylist.
Yeah.
But you do not want at all. You want no part of that Reddit group. You do not want to be roasted. Like there's no no positive affirmations there.
Maybe a younger version of me would have loved that. Would have done
no chance. No way.
Posted something.
There's I know exactly what that page is and what you're thinking. There's no one. Everybody posts in that page, hoping that people are like, oh, actually, you're not ugly. Blah blah blah. That's the hope for everyone, but never happens. The roasts are like.
Mean.
They're mean. Really bad.
They're mean. Like one person is like, your nose is a bit asymmetrical, like 3 points to the left.
You know what we're gonna do? You know what we're gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Episode 2 is coming back. And your photo and my photo is going to get roasted.
And what the results are. Oh god.
And we're gonna read the first
I'm like
5 minutes.
Look, are we gonna do this? 5.
The problem is yours is easy. Your look changes drastically
every
constantly.
2 days.
Yeah. You're like Afro. It was the...
Yeah,
a couple of years.
My therapist on Skype today was like, oh, new look. And I'm like, I look at myself in the little thing on the lower right. I'm like, oh yeah, I went for a shave.
You know what surprises me most about that?
What?
The small picture on the right.
That's so rude. Why would I make myself the big picture?
I would just assume,
and then he would be the small.
I would assume that you're the person.
That is so rude.
Who would be talking to the therapist, looking at themselves.
The fact that this
just
is
a little
it
subconscious.
feels like you have done this.
No, I haven't. But I can imagine. That's the worst thing. That the therapist thinks that he's talking to you. You're looking back. You're staring yourself down. You're like for an hour.
I need to make sure. I did turn on the blur the background look on Skype. So
oh my god,
it looks so nice.
This is where we start. The look at yourself was drastic. This is where I expected we'd meet in the middle.
I did spend a lot of time.
Did you download a Skype filter? Beautify.
I used to Skype a lot when I was younger, right?
What's your therapist? Oh no, we can't.
What?
Your therapist's name? I was just going to use it for a skit.
What's his name? A skit. Skittles. What's his name? His name is Pinot Grigio. That's a good anonymous name, right?
Nope. That's possibly the worst anonymous name I've heard ever. Anyway, you're on Skype with Pinot
Grigio.
Oh, one name? He's like, Cher.
I'm dying.
Pinot Grigio, my therapist. Did you have a point before you went into the blur background? Did you not want him to see your room, by the way?
No. It was fine. It just accentuated my features.
Oh dear. I can imagine your room being set up, everything laid out, candles lit.
To be fair,
Pinot Grigio, I'm in a very good place today. As you can tell, I don't need your help anymore. For me, that's always like with therapists. That's always the like the day, shining.
The day I can say that would be really fun.
That's like the eureka moment.
I have to say,
therapists.
I think I start every session, and there's a part of me like deep down that wants to say, I think we're good.
Yeah.
I think this will be our last.
You know what that is? That's exactly the same as your thread that people are going on. People are hoping for this chance that's never going to happen. You're actually really handsome. Roast me. What's there to roast, Issa? You're perfection.
You're perfection.
Your therapist that you pay every week is never going to say to you, Issa, you're done. You've hit the jackpot. You've made it now.
I had this friend, right, in high school who said to me once, he's like, Issa, I know you think you're good looking, but I want you to know as your friend, I think you're like quite below average.
Wow. How old are you when this happened?
No, this was not too long ago. Like
that kickstarted it, by the way.
That's why.
Did you tell your therapist this?
No. I'm fine with it now. I realize
that's the next thing to tell your therapist. I think
that's why
it answers a lot of questions for me.
No, but like he assumed I thought I was very good looking. I think I'm good looking at best. I wouldn't say very good
it's definitely adjusted your selective hearing.
What selective hearing?
Just not hearing what you don't want to hear.
I think everyone does that, right? They just block out the noise. Yeah, but I think you're right. Most people would make that thread to get affirmations.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but I feel some people are actually curious where they lie. As teenagers as well, like for sure. They would be curious. Like,
well, it's the same as the old like hot or not or rate me and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big thing back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember those.
It's a big thing now. It's called Tinder.
Yeah.
Tinder is rate me. Tinder is hot or not. In real.
But you don't get the number.
Playing cool. For keeps on Tinder. It's hot or not for good.
Oh. Tinder was fun.
Maybe you could maybe make Tinder better. People are rated. People have a star rating.
Yeah.
People have a star rating like first appearance and then a line below actual experience.
You know, one day it would be just pure algorithmic data and everyone's going to be savvy into what they're looking and they'll be like, this guy scored high on like attractivity, but then when the 2 days of meeting, everything goes downhill. So you're like, huh, interesting.
I don't think so. I don't think.
I mean, think people like
Tinder was a jump though. Like if we're talking about like, if we're talking about things like you can't. For one, I don't think you can predict anything that's coming up. Like you can't say, "Oh, this is going to be the next."
I mean, as now Snapchat's going down, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think. But when it was going up, I don't think anyone expected it to be
no
this
way.
thing because
it
advertised itself as a nude thing for sure. Like,
yeah.
Send nudes.
Not.
Like there was ads. It was like
really
like a sexy girl sending a photo. Yeah. It was like
really. I didn't know they were that aggressive with it.
I think it was hinting. I'm sure someone in the marketing was like, you can't be too obvious, but like this
is our goal. This is what we want to be doing.
They knew that
we want to be known as the nude app.
Yeah, the one that like self-destructs the nude. We'll look at it and it's gone.
That's what it was, though, right?
It is.
Like,
it's what
I wonder if that was the idea for it or not. Do you think they started out with different intentions of like
douchey CEOs or douchey co-founders? 100%. At least for Snapchat, I think.
I don't think Snapchat was like that.
I think
it was like.
I think that's why it went down.
No,
I think that's why it went down eventually.
Purely one reason.
Instagram copied the features.
Yeah, exactly. Like Instagram story is everything. I mean, not.
Yeah,
really,
I resisted Instagram stories for a while, but because I don't have Snapchat
people still
anymore.
use Snapchat a lot. You'd be surprised. I don't. I never use it, but a lot of people still use it a lot.
Speaking of Snapchat, that new filter that's going around, right?
Oh yeah, I wasn't a fan.
What did you look like?
I can't remember.
Were you beautiful?
I kept shying away from it.
Were you beautiful?
Someone was aggressively trying to get me to look like a girl.
I'm curious, actually. I would like to see.
I didn't want to see myself.
So I guess we're going to see in the episode notes what we look like as girls. That's one. And
I'm more excited about roasting. Because I'm really hoping somebody says that I'm not that bad. I'm kidding.
It says what?
That I'm not that bad in the roast.
You get like, you probably will. You'll probably get that.
No.
Good looking straight white male.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's my target.
There's the term for it, GWM. Good looking white man. Good looking white male.
Used how you used it?
No, like GWM, like in like dating apps, like
right.
M4F, looking for a black woman who likes a GWM.
Really?
Sports and fitness.
This is always you always know like the abbreviations for it. I'd never got any of these, and you're like, oh, just put this. I'm like, what does that mean? There's something outrageous all the time. I'm like, there's not a chance I'm putting that. You have all the abbreviations down. You're like, oh, just put this. This is specifically for this thing.
Yeah. I don't know, but then like, I used to think I was onto it, and then there's some abbreviations I see, and I'm like, whoa, what is
GTOMFPQR?
And you find out it's like, oh, they're like Game of Thrones on Wednesdays. You're like, oh, okay. Oh, okay.
You don't need to abbreviate that. Yeah, it's actually too much information.
Yeah, that's like, I need to find that out in person, not over the
So,
app.
I mean, it's, like you were saying before, I don't think we can predict it, but what do you think Tinder was a huge jump. That was out of nowhere, to be honest. Like, no one was sitting around thinking, it'd be good, swiping on people's faces in, like, maybe potentially meeting up with them. And that was out of nowhere.
You had to really trust that people would use your app. Otherwise, it wouldn't work.
There's a lot like that.
There was a leap of faith needed.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, some apps, at least, you can be like, oh, it's going to serve some people because there's a database, and you can connect like 20
food delivery.
You can connect the restaurants, and people will eventually use it. This was like user to user.
Yeah, there's I reckon half of the apps would be like that. Like, just if there's no user around, there's no
application as a service.
But I don't think Tinder would have started like that. To be honest, I think it would have been like really, really small, and then literally like week by week just get insanely bigger.
Yeah,
like every
viral.
Week. Yeah.
Did you ever use OkCupid?
No.
They ask some really nice questions about like, oh, do you like couches? And
that's not the one where the girl messages first. That's the different one.
That's Bumble.
Yeah. So also OkCupid.
There's a new one called Hinge.
I haven't heard of it.
It's apparently like a more thoughtful Tinder, I guess. So what they do is they show you all the profile of the person, and you can comment or like on the profiles. So like you can comment on the photo, you ask you some cute questions.
Everyone sees other people's comments.
No, you don't see other people's comments.
Okay.
They would,
because that would be bad.
No, so
that's a bad addition for Tinder.
No. So basically, it will say something like, cats or dogs and why, okay? And then they'll show the face of the guy or the girl. And then you say, I like cats because like they remind me of my childhood. And then someone can say, I like this post. And then it notifies you that someone liked the post. You can see their profile.
Do you know what?
If you like, it's something like that.
It's
a bit more human.
That will work as well as Tinder.
It's working really well.
No, I know it's working. But like Tinder's a whole different
for like one night stands?
No, in general, like as an app. Not for like working of how the app works. But it sounds awfully complicated.
It sounds it, but
Tinder is idiot proof.
Yes, but at the same time, you have fake profiles, you have weirdos, you know what I mean? So like this is for like their motto, I can't speak English. Their motto is use the app once and delete it after, or something like that. You know, their whole idea is to get you hitched and like Which is interesting. What's your opinion on what's it called? No, is it called dating culture or dating app culture? Basically,
Again, this is like the phrases and stuff for everything are out of my depth.
Okay.
You know phrases for everything.
No. What's your thing on the whole like using a
dating apps?
Using a dating app for a one night stand for the most part, or for like it's because there are some people who really only use it for the sex, right? I'd assume.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say people like that? Because some people use it without knowing what they want. They actually just want human connection. Yeah. But some people know that's what they want. They just want to hook up. Hookup culture. That's the term.
Hookup culture. Yeah.
What's your take on hookup culture? As a 40-year-old man.
As a 40-year-old.
They were both basically 30-year-olds now, right? So like we're like mid-millennials.
What is a mid-millennial?
I don't know them. No, but I mean like we are like at the
millennial stretches pretty far.
Yeah. It's like 1985 onwards, right?
But you wouldn't think of a 5-year-old?
Yeah, they would count. I think up to 40-year-olds now are millennials. Are 40-year-olds.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
85? No.
Okay, no. 35.
Definitely not. Where are you getting these numbers from?
Because I can imagine a cool 40-year-old who makes like artisanal ice cream and like he's like really into it. He looks like he's 32 max.
So that you push the date of millennial
because you can. Because like he basically didn't realize that like life was a thing till like he was 25, and then he's like, oh shit.
I don't think.
You know what I mean? He's like, nah. He was 25 in his like parents' bedroom.
That's just
like,
a young 40-year-old. You can't just push the dates of everything how you want. I'll just put this here.
No, but to be fair, isn't that what everything is? It's all arbitrary.
Mm.
But really, like if we really think about it, it's like everything's really just like, yeah, we can push the dates.
Do you think? Do you feel like time's getting faster? Like now that you're getting older, time's speeding up.
This trip I just took a week break in the Maldives. It was amazing. Went by so quick.
Yeah,
like so quick. It felt like 2 days.
It was a week, right? It wasn't a week.
It was like 5 days.
5 days.
It felt
maybe.
like 2 days.
Yeah. It really like when it sucked.
Did it feel quick when I was gone? Did that time just go? Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, things just go. But that's
but sometimes things are strange where time feels fast for everyone. Like you talk about, you talk to people, everyone's like, "Oh, that was a quick week," or a slow week, and everyone's like, "Oh, that was really slow." But what does that boil down to? Is like, is it weather? Like people are like, "Oh, yeah, it's like." I'm sluggish because it's hotter, or
there might be. Okay, we can bring it to like a weird place and say it's a global consciousness that's shifting.
Bring it weird.
Let's do it. Maybe. There's a time crunch that's going on, like literally, because we're going closer to the end of the world, or to the end of
No, actually, because
like maybe there's a singularity, right? Like,
but how does that work in? I mean, it could potentially be true, because how would that be true if we're still having 24-hour days and stuff?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
it doesn't matter. It really could be the time is different.
Time is different. A crunch in time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You can't say, oh, but wouldn't computers be able to calculate it? Yeah. No, they're affected by it as well. No, but like, I don't think
it could.
There could be a simultaneous thing as well, where it could be the perception of time only is changing. And so because let me continue. So
it doesn't make. I don't think it even makes a difference. If everyone's perception of time is different, time is different. What is different? There's no time really.
Whoa. There was a jump there. I did not.
Sorry, I'll go back. There really is no time. There isn't time. Where are you looking at for time? It's what we
time is right
actively.
now.
It's what we're actively
time is a differential
doing.
I get that. I guess I can get that.
But like if we mentally, like consciously, global consciously think about time being slowed down, feel time being slow, time is slow, right?
No, that's cute, but like
it's not cute. It's true.
No. I'm saying it's cute,
what are you looking for to be different?
My point is how can we get everyone to suddenly like meditate at the same time? Is what you're saying? Kind of.
That's the jump.
No, because like you're telling everyone. You
want to have telepathic powers globally.
But like a crazy online like petition, like because how?
That's the opposite of what you want to do.
I think we've talked about this before. Like,
you want to force people to do that.
What if everyone on Earth jumps at the same time or takes a deep breath at the same time? How amazing would it be?
Something would go bang. Something would happen.
Something would happen, right? I think at that moment people would feel connected. I think
maybe we should line up New Year's. 2 birds in one stone. Everyone, New Year's is now. 3, 2, 1. GMT -3.
Then people would have
3.
3 p.m. meaning different things, right? Like looking like different things, which is true. 3 p.m. looks different anyways everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, why can't we just say 3 p.m. here is night time? Why don't we do that?
Have a global time? Yeah. I'm sure there's a reason.
I'm sure
there's right in front of us.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, it's 6 p.m. in the movie, but like, why is 6 p.m.
Technically, it is that though.
It's odd. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything's arbitrary.
If you
man-made.
really take a step away from time, it does get weird because we are so tied into seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years.
All based on what's it called? A 60 base or whatever it's called.
Yeah, month.
There's a nice term.
What, the month?
No, there's a term for it. It's the base 60 or base 12 or whatever it's called, or some cool like 60 minutes and 60 hours.
I was going to say this ties in exactly with the start of the episode, with the numbers thing. You know, what we decide numbers to be.
Numerology.
And here's this surprise. We figured it out. The number is 6.
Yeah. According to Jung, it's 4.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He thinks 4 is, well, I do agree. I think 4 is the number of wholeness. He says reality presents itself in 4s, whatever that means. The quaternio.
I bet you there's a thing for each number, at least going for 10. 7 is lucky. There'll be 5 is this because
1
of
is
this.
unity, 2 is difference, 3 is
so every
Trinity.
number is the number.
Yeah. 5.
So Jung's wrong. Suck it, Jung.
It's Jung. It's Jung, so it's Jung.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll call him Jung.
Jung. No, but
suck it, Jung.
He's awesome. He's really cool. I feel like everyone needs him a bit.
So yeah, you don't feel like time is going slower now that you're getting old. Remember back, I'll tell you why. Going from birthday to birthday, 6 to 7 years old, 7 to 8 years old, 4 to 5 was a lifetime. Each day was a full day.
And it's crazy, and it's like we didn't appreciate it at all.
No. You know what? People tell you to appreciate it as well. People do tell you.
They
appreciate your youth. Enjoy
school.
school. Do you remember that?
Oh, these people are the worst. They tell you without telling you
They're
why.
us now. We're doing that.
When I talk to kids, I talk to them they're me. They look at me like, I don't know what kids are, but I talk to them like properly because no one ever talked to me and explained why, because I think they didn't know. I honestly think people are stupid. Hey, so am I. But I'm saying like as a kid, I would have asked these people why. You don't need to know yet. You don't need to know. You mean you don't know?
What are we talking about? Why you should enjoy school? Why you should enjoy youth?
Why am I going to
outside?
school? So you can get a better job. Why?
Yeah.
So I don't have to take care of you anymore.
Still
so they should have said that. They should have told the kid. They should have told me as a kid. So I don't have to take care of you forever. So you can take care of yourself.
But we're already bamboozling kids big time. Like they're on the back foot from the get go. They start
because
school
of Fortnite?
at how long? No. Why?
Fortnite's awesome.
I never said Fortnite.
No, because why? How are we bamboozling kids?
Because they go to school at how old? 3 years old? Or 4 years old or whatever?
It's because they have Baby Shark. Baby Shark ruins everything.
It's worse than that. I hated school. I hated school. But I just think it's not a good system at all. I don't think.
Yeah,
but
we know, in quotation marks, that school, or the current system of school for the most part in most countries, is because of the Industrial Revolution, right? that people were sent to school not to be educated for themselves, but to be prepared to work in a factory. That's it. That's unfortunately the reality, and it hasn't changed much, really. I mean, like, example, in the UK, all of this A levels and AS levels and so on and so forth is to prepare people to go into university.
Yeah.
To do specific degrees.
Yeah.
It's a factory for minds.
Which is, strange. When does that change? When we get it, like, that's the thing.
It changes when people stop making fun of schools that say, "Oh, your kid can come here to this school and make their own, make their own degree."
Yeah. That has to eventually, maybe not that specifically, but trying new things has to be,
because those schools still train the kid in the last 2 years of their high school to take the standardized exams.
The thing is as well, imagine, like, for me, for example, imagine I didn't hate school and they're like, "Oh, you can try these things, you can try this thing." And I don't know why, but I'm like, I like trying different things and I enjoy things when I do them, but you don't get the option to do that. Like, today you're doing science class. You have to sit down and shut the fuck up and get through it. That's it. There's no question.
That sounds horrible. Like, especially I could tell from your tone of voice it sounds horrible. I couldn't imagine that.
It wasn't for me at all, because I always knew as well that it was it was just learning, and no, it's
learning for the sake of learning.
Well, not even that. Taking information, numbers, dates specifically, and just things that you have to store for a short period of time, and then blurting out onto a page in an hour.
I hated
then
that.
It's gone forever. I would
learning by
I think
heart.
I would have liked it
if I was actually learning.
Not even learning, or like just like ideas and what you think about things, and adjusting your ideas as you go, and
like actually teaching,
actually learning things.
So
That's actually learning, right? Like, you say your ideas. These ideas are good. These are good ways to think about things.
Explaining
these
logic.
You should change because of these reasons, and then you have a
maybe the world would be a better place if they actually engage the minds of kids. But there are. This is right. It's
difficult.
This has been a discussion, at least in America, right? Like, how first of all, teachers aren't paid well, and then you bring them into supposedly, well, they are,
and
tough
they have
neighborhoods,
to solve this problem. It's
and they're in tough neighborhoods, and then of course the kids come to school, with a background of abuse, for example. What are they gonna do? Like, it's gonna be like really difficult for them. Like, the teacher now has to also fulfill the role of a good parent.
The thing is as well, like, we were really lucky to not have to deal with that environment. But that's not the majority of the schools that people grow up in. Like, the huge majority is tougher situations. Like, people that definitely don't want to be there.
Yeah.
The huge amount of people.
It's crazy. It is. It actually is. And then it almost makes it almost.
It's not a healthy way to learn at all. I don't think that's as simple as it is.
It's not sustainable.
But for me, I'm in the, like, I have the idea that we're still progressing. How would you call it? This is why I should have exponentially.
Towards.
In general, like, with
everything
across the board, and even like we were saying before, with, what did you call it? People being sensitive about situations and
politically
stuff.
Correct.
Politically correct culture, whatever.
Yeah.
Even that, I think, is a phase that we'll get through, benefit from. That's not far down the line, I don't think.
I'm hopeful for all.
And
of this.
I think all of this is, like, it sounds bad to say
baby
progressive
steps
now, but progressing. I think everything is moving forward positively and getting towards a better.
I hope so, because I mean, if you think about it, how many more Putins and Trumps and
Can we go into Trump for a sec? We've got to wrap up soon.
Yeah. What about Trump? It's easy to hate.
He's growing on me. No, he's growing on me in the way that I think the reason he got elected, I think, was people. I've thought this recently. I think people voted for him to kind of see if he would, if it would actually, like, this would be a bit funny. Do you reckon it would actually happen?
That's what happened with Brexit.
Yeah.
So
people are like, would my vote count? Like, would this actually happen?
I don't disagree.
But it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, he'll do some dumb shit.
You probably had a lot of 18, 19-year-old American voters who thought it would be funny to go.
It'd be
for
interesting
Trump
to see
because they've seen him on TV. They don't know what Hillary has done.
Do you think? It would be interesting to see who voted. I don't know if there's demographics of that kind of information. We tried to do it actually, but
is it usually not publicly available?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. But it would be really interesting to see. But I don't think that would be the most people that voted for him. I don't think young people vote that much. I don't think that invested into it.
I think that was the whole thing, right? That this election brought a lot of kids out.
Was that a mix between election and execution of a country?
You know what elocution is, right?
No.
It's when people talk really well to speak poetry or short stories or something. Yeah, to elocute.
It'll be over soon. The only issue I have with it, presidencies
when
general
is he done?
Just
next year.
2020. That's the next election, but. I think personally, I don't
Bernie
think
Sanders. Man.
I don't care.
Him.
Who cares? Presidents in general. That's the same thing. It's so
fake illusion, fake choice.
It's so dated to like you. Yeah. Presidents are black and white photos of like this is a great man. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like we need a more.
But that's the thing.
We're talking about America. It doesn't make any difference to us. Like as long as America does pretty well, it affects the rest of the world. Whatever.
Yeah, but right now, that's the thing. He's done stuff like put tariffs in China, like just the past few days, right? And now China like fired back. It's temporary, but we're talking billions of money.
Oh no, like definitely affects
temporary like ripple effect.
Yeah.
No, but like.
Oh no, it's definitely like.
I saw this article, or like I saw the headline of it. I didn't even read it.
Has he done anything good?
Has he
really done, like if you could credit him?
We need him. We needed this to happen. He is the shadow of political culture, right? This is to show how worse can go.
I think
if it wasn't,
I think I think the one thing it really did show is it doesn't matter who the president is. Like he fucked up a little bit here and there. Nothing changed. The next president's going to be, now we're going to make America great. This is going to be the one. Eventually, it has to get to the point where, like, as a country, everyone's voting on what they actually want. You know, you need, like, Tinder for the country. Like, this is something I agree on.
But that's the thing. The article I was reading was, or like the headline I just read the headline. It made me think about an e-voting system.
Yeah.
But do we want a computer to run a country?
Regardless of computers aware what stores the information, it does matter because it's hackable. That's the worst part. But you need like collective. We're past presidents now. But that's the thing.
We're assuming that majority vote. We're assuming that people know how to vote for themselves. And
I see what you mean.
Because Hillary won the numbers game. Did you know that?
Yeah. And again, it's like it's stupid how the system works. It's by state, right?
Yeah, electoral college or whatever.
Yeah. But so you win a state.
And but that's the thing. Despite like it's easy to say, oh, she should have won because of the numbers. But like, there is an argument against numbers for even for example Brexit. Brexit was pushed. The referendum was pushed because of petitions.
It's actually
petitions.
I mean, yeah, okay, fine. This is the first time I've seen the other side of the coin, and I kind of agree that it sounds bad. Again, I don't know which side it makes a difference on, but I would assume it's bad that people are easily manipulated.
Oh my God. Easily manipulated. But that's something I think people have realized since at least.
But then what? Then do you have a strong president or a strong leader to guide people? Is that the best way? Or
Plato wrote about like proper leadership, right? He was saying there's many ways of it going, and like one of the best ways would be having a philosopher king, right? Someone who thinks and then acts on it and whatever, and that person would be raised.
The problem is they're past
for that role
in so many places. Like there's so many issues with it. One, you're past the point of doing that. It's so political. Like the political system in general is a game, and
yeah,
people have already won. That's the thing. Like people have already won. They know they've already won. They get into these positions where they're like, oh, this guy's here, I'm going to make a shitload of money. And they do certain things like...
It's crazy.
And that's the game now. But and whether you're a good leader and you're there, like I think, like for example, Obama was there, first black president. He was there to make like
a symbol,
and I think he was there with good intentions of like, I'm gonna do some really good stuff.
But that's what's interesting
like,
for
and
me
make
is,
an impact.
But that's the thing is, like, I have nothing against Obama, and I think it was great. But there was a certain feeling of like, I mean, everyone's gonna say that, right? He could have done more, but.
But that's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like that was my point. It doesn't make it that much of a difference, though. Like, okay, you got voted in. He had good intentions with this system, or with Trump now. It doesn't make that much difference, really. Like, the game's already set out. You can Trump. Like, this is the thing. This is probably the thing that the good thing about him being president. That's maybe the most extreme that he can push everything. What more can you do in the States? Like in America, they're pretty, like you can't go. He couldn't have been a dictator. There's too many limitations on it, and he's pushed everything as far towards an extreme as possible. What more can you do? He could take his clothes off and do a press conference. But
it's funny you mentioned that, because like that's the thing. It's like it is a good example of the emperor's new clothes or whatever. You know the story?
No.
Vaguely, I don't remember exactly, but vaguely the emperor had people make clothes for him, and one guy told him, this is the best clothes you can wear, or something like that. And the guy basically put nothing on him, and no one could tell the king, because of shame or fear, that you're nude. So he's walking down the streets in his new clothes, and no one could tell him, because they're like, it's the king or the emperor, except one boy. One boy points at us like, butts hanging out, ha ha ha.
Is this actually
So they execute the boy or something like that. So it's like, that's actually the state we're in now. It's like no one is standing up, and even when they do, they get fired, and no one goes straight for the jugular, for the top gun. Like
I mean that's the good thing about America, though, in a way, is that people have their own opinions and they're allowed to freely, openly say what they want. That's really good policy to have. For me, I don't know all the policies in America, all the, the first
amendments.
But one of the first, the founding fathers came up with this
Constitution.
But I don't know all of them, but one of them, freedom of speech is one, or?
I would assume, freedom to bear arms.
But the one for me, freedom,
and
that's a big one, though.
And
I think, like, to be able to move forward, it has to be to some extent.
Yeah,
because it's getting into dangerous territory for people's opinions to be blocked off. Now is the time when it's going to be really, really relevant. They wrote it back then, but now is when it's important. It's like back in the day. What are you gonna like at the market? Not say something because it's gonna piss off Peter's wife, but now it's like shit. It makes a difference. Like things can be globally swung from people's opinions. That's what's
scary is now. It's like opinion is one thing, but then where does truth come in? Facts,
they're so malleable.
Data is completely. And especially now with the deep fakes and stuff, what is like? It really becomes like a class, like one of those college classes. What is truth? It really feels like that.
But like Russia and China are supposedly manipulating information in America and like other places in the world. But why wouldn't they do that?
Destabilizing. Yeah,
of course they would do that. And we're thinking about that it's really bad because they got caught.
It's like
whatever.
Sports, right?
They're 5 steps ahead of
everyone knows the game is rigged. Everyone can see how people are acting like they're getting injured, and they still watch the sport. I'm like, oh my god, you guys know everything's fake, and
it's funny that you brought that up because there's a documentary that came out about Russia hiding PEDs, like
performance enhancing drugs. Yeah.
And there was it was insane.
They were banned from
the Olympics. In the end, I don't think they got banned. They got pushed through, but it's crazy. Why wouldn't they do it? Like
if they can get away with it.
Yeah. If you can imagine that is power. That's now for these times, power to manipulate a culture in another country. That is modern war.
Yeah,
that's modern warfare. Like, you send troops in, great. We've got drones that
it's
can
like
pinpoint
actual Game
location.
of Thrones, like with misinformation.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones 2019 edition.
Yeah. No, but that's
featuring Earth. But why? Of course they would do that. Of course, it's like, it's
what's for me, what's shocking is when you realize that this deals with people's lives.
How does that shock you?
It's shocking because like what shocks me is like it feels like these people don't really realize that.
They do.
Do they? Do they actually? Because it feels like they might just see some like infrared images at most and press the drone button and then they're done. They're like, I did it in a good cause. I did it to save the American people.
No,
I don't know.
It's crazy. I don't buy it. I would like, they're too deep in it to be able to change. Like the Bradley Manning thing was pretty crazy.
Which one is this?
You never saw the video. I was following it as it happened, like really soon afterwards.
What is it?
And watching it all unfold in real time and progress was actually really crazy as well, because basically he leaked video to WikiLeaks.
This is recent?
We're flagged now for sure. Say WikiLeaks on a podcast, we're at the top already of flagged podcasts. They're following along. We got some listeners already, I think. No, it was quite a while ago, and he gave WikiLeaks a video.
Is this the person who became a girl as well? I remember, what was up with, why did he decide to become trans as well?
That was like completely separate. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Wait, so he leaked it then?
No, okay, so he leaked it long before he transitioned. He leaked it.
Or did he transition to hide the fact that he leaked it?
No. It was far. He was in jail already. He was already done with. Like, we're talking years. a year afterwards probably. But he basically, it was like, I watched the video and it was like a helicopter looking down on a bus and they're like, oh, just shoot it. It was like kind of flustered and like, they're like, oh, it might be civilians. They're like, no, just shoot it anyway. And it was it was bad. Yeah, it was really bad.
But he already leaked the data, so they still want to
He leaked the video. He leaked the video to WikiLeaks. It was open. It was on the internet.
He leaked the video of them wanting to kill him.
No.
He
leaked
another
the
operation.
actual video. Yeah, in like a war zone. And leaked the video, the actual footage in the helicopter of like, just shoot it anyway.
Collateral damage.
And it turned out it was like, it was civilians, and one guy was like a Reuters reporter or something.
And they shot him.
It was crazy. Yeah, they had like it was bad.
This is exactly.
He wasn't there, but he was working. I think he was working for the CIA.
Like one of those data analysts.
Yeah. And then he got the video and he's like, I don't know, people need to see this. And then, I don't know. But then I think like people that go and have to defend the video, it's like for me, I'm like, I have to be on his side, really.
Likewise.
It's strange.
Likewise.
I don't know. Like, how can you put him in jail? Even Snowden.
It becomes like one of those films, right? Lives of the few versus lives of the many. But then if you say that we are fighting for humanity at large, and that's why we're gonna kill this bus with civilians, then it makes you think, then what kind of humanity are you fighting for?
Yeah.
It sounds cliche, but really it is.
Yeah.
It comes down to that. It's like, if you can't value life, then what are you actually like?
Yeah. And you can't for me, you can't justify that. And the same with like, this, like, for me, the Snowden thing now is strange. Like, I don't know. I don't see how he was giving out information given to him. That's the extent of it, really. Was there any more to it? Or?
I guess I get. See, both sides of the coin, right? You are leaking supposedly classified information.
But it's never stuff that's like, oh great, the government's doing this. It's always stuff like, holy crap, how?
No, that's why. But like, legally, right? You sign clauses and stuff. So I get that aspect.
But is he doing something illegal or not?
But no. Yeah.
What?
He's leaking things that are government property. But like, isn't there a whistleblower act or something like that? Is there something like that?
I'm not sure.
Isn't that something like for the good of the world, right? There should be like a UN thing.
Apparently not, because
but I'm saying like eventually
it didn't work out very well, because none of the things are ever like, they're never good things. They're always things you're like, crap, I didn't know they were doing this, and it's always big things. And then obviously the government always come back with.
And we know now, for example, a lot of the so-called like ISIS stuff and whatever was, you know.
Yeah. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I guess so.
Final thoughts?
We don't know much.
We literally don't know much at all.
It's pretty good. It's pretty humbling.
All right.
See you next time. Bye.